So now we built a bunch of dummy components, a bunch of dummy page components here. Of course, our application, if you want to call it like that, isn't doing anything useful though. And it's not doing anything useful on purpose because I just want to show these core features first before we then later combine what we know to build something more realistic, to build a real application. Now, up to this point, we have all those different pages and components, but we can only navigate between them by manually changing the URL. And that's, of course, not very realistic. In reality, we typically want to navigate through links or programmatically when some action completed. And therefore, that's what we're going to have a look at right now. And for this, let's go to our main index.js file. So directly in the pages folder, this homepage component here. There, let's say we now also want to add a bunch of links. So we can add an unordered list component with a couple of list items. And then in every list item, we want to have a link to some of those pages we created here. For example, we could add links to the portfolio index and to our clients index. Now, how do we do that? Normally, we add links with an anchor tag. We can do this here as well. We could add a link like this and it would work, but this has a disadvantage. Now let's add it like this though. Let's add a link as an anchor tag. Hence, if we go back to just our domain /nothing, we see that link. If I click it, I'm taken to the portfolio page. It works, but it has a disadvantage. The disadvantage here is that with such a standard link, we in the end send a brand new HTTP request to load this new page, which means that any application state we might have on our running React app would be lost. If we have some app-wide state, which is stored with React context or Redux, it would be lost since we send a brand new request and we get a brand new HTML page. And that's not really the idea of building a React app, no matter if you're using Next.js or not. You want to stay in that app and you want to manage app-wide state. That shouldn't change just because you use Next.js. Because if that would not work this way anymore, it would actually be a disadvantage and not an improvement. So therefore, we typically don't want to use links like this. Instead, when using React Router in a non-Next application, we import a link component from React Router. And with Next.js, it's the same. For this, we again import something from Next, but now not from Next Router, but from Next Link. And we import link. Important here, not between curly braces, because link is the default export of this link package from the Next library. So we import link, and link is a component which we can use. And we can use it as a replacement for the anchor tag. So we can simply replace A with link. Now link has a ref prop, which we can set, so we don't even need to change this. And the ref prop also takes a string with the path to which we want to navigate. Now if we save that, therefore, and we go back to our starting page, if I now click on portfolio, I still go to the portfolio page, but now without sending a HTTP request behind the scenes, without losing any app state we might have. And the link component actually also has a couple of other tricks up its sleeve. It has a couple of other improvements. For example, it automatically prefetches any data off the page we might navigate to as soon as we hover over the link and so on. So these are some advanced optimizations which will become important later. Now on this link component, we can also set a couple of other props. For example, we can set the replace prop to not push this new page, but replace the current page with it so that we can't go back. That can sometimes be useful. And we can also set a couple of other options, which we'll dive in later. For the moment, ref is the most important option. And therefore, of course, now we can add another list item with another link where we want to go to our clients. So here we could then set ref2/clients to be taken to that client's page. If we go back and reload this and go to clients, here we are. Now on that client's page, we might want to go to our individual clients. So we want to plug in a value for that dynamic ID. And therefore in index.js in the clients folder, here I also want to add a couple of links and I want to now navigate to dynamic routes. And that's what we're going to take a look at in the next lecture.